Let's talk about some basic stitches used in crochet, starting with single crochet. I want to make a long line of single crochets, so I'm going to start with a slip knot. Take the end piece of my yarn, cross it over, and then behind that circle I just made. I'm going to hook my hook right into that center piece and pull on both ends of the yarn. I don't want this super tight, but I do want to scoot this slip knot so that it's up close to the hook. Pretty loosey, but still secure. All right, now using the long piece of my yarn, I'm going to create a chain. So I'm going to yarn over the hook and pull through that loop. That's a chain. Again, yarn over, and we're going to pull through my second chain. They create these little circles, and they kind of look like a chain, like a gold chain for a necklace. That's why it's called a chain. All right, for my sample, I think I want 10 single crochets. So I'm going to make 11 chains. Whatever number you want to work on for your sample, if you pick your number and then add 1 at the end, and I'll show you why when we get there. All right, so I've got 1, 2 chains, yarn over 3, yarn over, pull through, that's 4, yarn over, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, plus 1 extra. So there's my 11. All right, so I want this, mine's got a little twisty. So I want to make sure that I can really see that I've created all of these little circles. We're going to end up putting our hooks into these chains, into the circles. All right, so I've got this loop on my hook, and I've got this first chain. I don't want to put my hook into that first chain. I want to put it into the second from the hook. You'll hear this a lot in patterns. They'll say, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook. That's the first chain, that's the second, that's the third. We want the second chain. So to do a single crochet, we're going to put our hook into that chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. We should end up with 2 loops on our hook. I like to hold mine so they don't go anywhere while I yarn over and pull through both of those loops. That's a single crochet. We've done it. Now you've noticed this chain has gotten a little bit big, and that's because of the single crochet and us putting our hook in and stretching it out a little bit. That's helpful because we want to go into the next chain. So we don't want that circle, we want the next chain. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. There's our second single crochet. Let's go on to the next chain, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I have my 10 single crochets. So insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, and my last one, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. All right, let's see what we've got here. It almost looks like a little caterpillar since I've done it in green. We should have 10 single crochets. And we can look at them from the side, but I find it's easier to look at them from the top because it kind of creates this little V shape, right? Sometimes they call them the two legs. And we should have 10 of these little V shapes. So let's count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And these are my single crochets. So we worked from right to left. And to keep going and make this taller and taller, we have to turn our crochet project over because we're always going to work from right to left since we hold our hook in the right hand. All right, so to do this, to turn our work around, I'm going to create a chain. Yarn over and pull through 1. This kind of increases the height and will meet the size of the next row. So now I'm going to turn my work over, just like turning the page in a book. And I've got to look for, not the chain, but that very first single crochet. So here's my chain, and here is the little V shape for my single crochet. On the side, you'll see that there's a little bit of a hole, a little bit of a space that I can put my hook into. So I'm going to insert my hook. That's going to put both of the little V legs on my hook. Yarn over, and I'm going to pull through, and I've got 2 loops on my hook. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. There we go, our first single crochet. So now we're going to insert into the next single crochet. Insert, pushing it through so that both of those little V-shaped leggies are on my hook. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops on the hook. All right, let's do one more together. I look for that little hole space, put my hook in, yarn over, pull through, pull up that loop, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to keep doing this until I've got all 10 finished. So pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, find the next space, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, find that next space, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, next space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, next space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, next space, yarn over, pull through 2, and this final space, it's a little bit tight, it's a little bit tricky on the end. Sometimes I have to use my finger to really kind of pull that hook through. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, so now we have 2 rows of single crochet. And we should see the same thing. Look, all those little V shapes, those are our single crochets. So to make our next row, let's chain 1 to make it taller, turn our work like a book, and find that first single crochet. So I'm really looking for that big open space, making sure not to put it through my chain, but through that first single crochet. And when I pull it and kind of pull this apart, it creates this big space, so I know what I'm looking for. Insert hook, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Same thing. We're looking for that top space, and when I pull it apart, it really makes a good space to put the hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Looking for that next space, we want that top space. Right as I pull, it's sort of making two spaces, but I really want this top space. Let's look for it again here. Pull through two, pull through two, and you can keep repeating this over and over again. You can make your first chain as long as you want to. It could be 100 chains, but we want to add that +1 at the end, just because, like we do every time when we reach the end of the row, we chain and turn our work. We're always going to have that extra chain, and that helps us build up the space and helps us find that first single crochet. Ta-da!